Fuck. God damn it. That one got me.
I wasn't ready.
We laid the groundwork. You helped me cast this spell.
I did.
That's right.
I was there for that summoning.
Uh-huh. Imagine if I just, like, low-key rolled up on you, taking I was like, hey, would you mind saying the Candyman 4 times into this mirror?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I'd be like, alright, I guess.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know why you want me to do this, and I'd be like, fuck! I didn't realize I was being used for nefarious purposes. I am a foolish white woman in a haunted horror movie. Go get duped by some crown molding. Hell yeah.
Can I just be like Regina Hall, just saying like, this is Bones, Tegan?
Yeah, I'll be like, oh, but you know, it's like, it adds something to the aesthetic of the place. We'll rip up the carpet and there'll be like a fucking pentagram underneath it, and I'll be like, oh, well, you know, we can just get the wax stripper and that'll come right out.
Oh my God. They take the fucking pentagram. We have to go. We cannot be here.
Tegan, if you ever go into a building and you see like a big hole in the wall and someone has spray painted above that hole the words "sweets to the suite," you go. You turn around. You turn your ass around.
Oh, I thought you meant I'd go in the hole.
No.
Do not go in the hole.
No.
God damn it.
If you see a hole that says sweets, you go. Okay, I'll go in the hole.
No, that's how you get Candyman.
That's how you get Candyman.
Yep.
That's exactly how that goes.
Is the Candyman made out of candy?
No.
He's covered in bees.
Oh.
So there's that.
So what you're saying is the local bee population approves.
I think Candyman and the bees are best friends.
I think
if he's going to help bring back the bee population,
that's not exactly
okay.
what
He doesn't
happens.
need your help for that, though, Tegan.
Oh, man.
Just, it's a high-risk situation, and I don't think that you are ready to get Candyman.
Absolutely not. Probably.
Sounds
But
like
I
a
am
bad
stupid
time.
enough I might do that.
In case you're wondering who we are and what this is, first of all, bonjour, welcome to you. This is Impossible Coin. It's a podcast ostensibly about video games. I am Brian Cartwright. I am joined by Tegan Somerset.
Hiya.
Tegan is going to die at the hands of the Candyman. I'm so sorry, listeners.
That's okay. I'm the comic relief character, so, like, I gotta die.
Dying second in this horror movie is Rocky Hardy.
Oh, I'm gonna live, dude. Like, I'm the virgin. Like, it's fine.
Your last girl?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Rocky is last girl.
Are you the guy who says, let's split up, gang?
Oh, no. Fuck that guy. That guy's dead. Like, holy shit.
Man. Oh. I'm so glad we're living through a horror movie renaissance.
Oh, man. What a time to be alive.
Yeah. Which I guess made watching the trailer for Chris Rock's Spiral this week feel like all the dumber. Because it really looked like a movie that was going to get released like, I don't know, 18 years ago. And like, it's like, okay, I guess Chris Rock, Jesus, like, this is your plan? This is your plan?
I'm interested in it. Like, I mean, it's not like, I don't think it's going to be classic Saw. I think it'll land somewhere between Saw and 7. And while, like, 7 has its big twist that is really played out, like, it could be cool.
You mean
I'm interested in
Sawvin?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. There are things about this movie I don't think I understand. I don't think we're also meant to understand at this point.
Sure.
Like, one thing that I thought was not terribly clear from this trailer was whether or not this was intentionally a period piece or whether they were just going for a vibe.
I think it'd make more sense if it was a period piece.
Because I was watching the trailer, I was like, is this the mid-90s? Is this the mid to late 90s? Because I got that vibe. Usually when you can't tell, something that'll give it away is cell phones. Are they small phones that flip?
Yeah.
Or are they big phones that you give Nintendo hundreds of dollars on and say, no, I assure you, I really enjoy this fake Animal Crossing.
Oh, shut up. Shut up! Stop, literally attacking me. I am desperate. I am a junkie in desperate need of a fix, okay?
Oh my god.
Nintendo is preying on me, and I need help. And also $100 so I can buy more fucking Leap tickets in Animal Crossing.
Oh no.
And also another $100 so that I could buy the Animal Crossing Switch. You know, I'd be okay if someone would just release another fucking Harvest Moon game. And by Harvest Moon, I totally mean Story of Seasons. Except for the Harvest Moon re-release, because that was done by the people who know what they're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway.
So, Tegan.
Yeah.
I see something here in our notes about you pouring a bunch of money into Animal Crossing for your telephone.
What? No. I did not pour a bunch of money into Animal Crossing for my telephone. I poured a bunch of time into Animal Crossing for my telephone.
Okay. That's different. Like, I mean, as much as people will assert that time is money.
Well, I didn't put any actual cash in, is
Okay.
the thing. Like, I still am in control of my finances.
Sure.
I just am not in control of my time.
Okay.
Because I want to play Animal Crossing. There's no Animal Crossing yet. I have to wait another month.
We're
I'm
going to make
suffering.
it, y'all. We're going to make it.
Are we? Are we really? Someone did an Animal Crossing Eat-A-Bag on Kickstarter, and it got, like, they were like, yeah, I need, like, $2,000 to make this happen. And they raised fucking $73,000, and then Nintendo saw it and went, no, you're not. And so Kickstarter took it down, and she was like, that's fine. I moved it over to Big Cartel. And so now it's just, like, unlimited pre-orders.
Oh my god.
It's great, and I'm gonna get one. I think I'm gonna get the Reese bag, which is like pink, and then it has like Reese's head on the top of it, and like I'm just gonna fill it with Cyrus merch. Because they're sweet and good! But yeah, so like, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp does these groups of events in threes. They do a gardening event, and then they do a bug or fishing event, and then they do a like scavenger hunt event, which when I say scavenger hunt event, I mean it's more like an Easter egg hunt, because there aren't any clues. There's just like these Gyroids that like show up, and you just have to collect them and use the Gyroids to build stuff. The gardening event this time was to basically make like a little candy store ahead of Valentine's. And you're making it for Reese so that she can have a cute little candy store for Cyrus to shop in for Valentine's Day. And it's really cute. And every time you complete, you get like enough bugs or like you harvest enough flowers or whatever. She goes, you're working just as hard as my side guy. And it's so cute. And so I did it. I did the whole like first tier of the event in 2 days, and the whole second tier of the event in, like, 2 additional days. So I worked very hard, and I got all the candy things, and I set up my little candy store, and then I posted a picture on Twitter, and it's also going to be in the show doc, because I only sent it to Rocky and Brian. And it's cute, and I look cute in it, and it's good, and god damn it, I want to play Animal Crossing so bad.
So
there's so many bells in that game.
Tegan,
I'm ready. Yeah.
Rocky.
Uh-huh.
If you were playing a video game, and that video game, instead of like say having an event and run up to Valentine's Day, instead just left their Christmas event running because the team was so understaffed and sad that nobody bothered to turn off the Christmas event, how would you feel about that video game?
Are they okay?
No.
Oh no!
They're understaffed and sad, Tegan.
Who did that?
Anthem!
Oh. Yeah, rip Anthem. You know, they're in trouble. They're having a bad time.
Yeah, they are having a pretty bad time. But they still... So, like, I still have my Christmas tree up, but that's because I'm lazy, and it's finally snowing, so now I have, like, the snowy background to, like, look at the tree out of. Why did they leave their Christmas thing up?
Please see earlier note.
Please see earlier note where they are sad and stressed.
And understaffed.
Yeah.
Aww.
So, the Christmas event is still running in Anthem, and, like, the city area in Anthem is still decorated for Christmas.
Oh, guys.
Ain't that some shit?
Are you okay?
They are not okay. EA is not taking care of them.
Like, even better is that, like, in the intervening time, they pushed an update to the game. Stuff happened. It's just, like, people were like, oh, do we take the Christmas stuff down? I don't know. Whatever. Fuck it.
Oh, guys. Aww. I feel bad for them.
Do you feel bad enough to play Anthem for them taken?
Nope.
No.
There we go.
But I do feel bad, like...
No, I'm not going to discount that. I feel bad for them, too. I hope that, like, they get fed and, like, brushed and, like, let out to play every once in a while.
Yeah, I hope they get to see the sun and, like, their families. That's scary. Are you okay?
No, Deacon, once again, they're not okay.
I know, but, like... Can we call, like, the SPCA or something?
Call the Better Business Bureau.
I think the only way to handle this, Deacon, is you need to go there. You need to go to the EA and say to them, can you show me your finest Anthem team? And then they say, sure. And, okay.
And then I open the door and I let them out.
And you open the door and then you hold up a hand mirror, look into the mirror, say, Candyman.
Oh, no!
Does it have to be a hand mirror?
No, you could find, like, a restroom or something.
Oh, okay.
There you go. You asked to meet the Anthem team, then you asked to use the bathroom. And
they show me where the bathroom is because I am a woman and obviously I need to freshen up before I can be seen in the presence of a man. And I summon the Candyman before I get to the Anthem team. So that he has time to get all his bees organized. And then I go to another bathroom and I summon Bloody Mary.
Oh, God.
They can compete for the CEOs.
Candyman winning that.
Yeah.
I mean, probably, but...
Yeah. So, Tika, why is there Funko Pops here?
Remember last year in March, the Pokemon Center, the Pokemon Company, released the Day with Pikachu series, and they were going to release one Funko every month that was Pikachu doing some bullshit to represent that month.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that? I do believe we talked about it on the show.
We did.
Yeah. So, I wasn't going to collect these. I want to make that abundantly clear. And then I saw the first one, and it was very cute. And so I knew I had to buy them all. However, April and May, for some reason, are ridiculously expensive. Like, if you didn't get them in that first run, good luck. They're, like, easily going for, like, $170 individually. And all the rest of them are, like, between, like, 32 and, like, 40, which is, like, alright. I get it. It was originally a $12 piece of plastic, and, like, I missed out, and okay, I'm willing to do a little bit of surcharging for you to ship it to me so it's available in my home in, like, 2 days. Because you actually went out and, like, hunted and gathered the items, so fine. Whatever. However, like, I'm only missing 2, and I'm missing April and May. And it's unfair at this point because I have all the other ones. So I need to know if the Pokemon Center and Pokemon Company are going to do a re-release of the Funkos so that I have another shot at getting them, or if I'm going to have to suck it up and buy a lot of 12 of them so that I can get the 2 fucking ones I'm missing. Pup said. I'm only missing 2. I'm only missing April and May.
What was Pikachu doing in April and May?
April was rainy day, and it was Pikachu, and he's very, very sad, and he's in a raincoat, and he's sitting in a little puddle, and he's holding a cast form figure that has, like, the sunny day up. Okay. So it's like he's trying to make the rain go away. Because if cast form uses sunny day, then the sun comes out. And he's very sad. It's very cute. And then in May, it was Blooming Curiosity, and it's him and, not Florges, the pre-evolved form of Florges. The little, like, fairy Pokemon who's, like, riding on a flower, and they're just, like, looking at each other and being cute. Okay, but fucking February's was the best, because it's Pikachu being scared by a Diglett, and it's great. He looks horrified. It's amazing. I love it. But I'm missing Rainy Day and Blooming Curiosity, and like, Let me find it. So you can see just how cute he is. It's unfair.
Are you talking about Floette or Flobebe?
Flobebe.
Okay.
Here comes Rainy Day. Rainy Day cute. Look at how cute he is.
I'm looking.
He's so cute.
Aw, that's a good Pikachu.
He's so cute. It's unfair. And then Blooming Curiosity is good too, but he's like $100. And I'm sad. I'm gonna have to order him from China. There's not gonna be an authentic one. I'm gonna be upset. Ah!
Oh man.
I know.
I'm looking at him.
This is going in the dock.
Here he comes. Blooming Curiosity, look at him, so cute. What a sweetie. Ah! Fuck. Mad about it. He's so expensive. $262 if I want to buy him on happytoytime.com. Fuck that. God damn it.
Palindrome.
I could buy him on fucking eBay as part of a lot for $389, which is like $38 a Funko, free shipping. And like, $38 is about the range I'm willing to spend on all of them, but I'm only missing these two. I don't know what the February one is called, but like, God, it's funny. What's it? It doesn't matter what it's called. It doesn't matter. It looks so dumb. Look at his scared face. Look at his scared face. It's great! Surprising weather ahead is what it's called. Surprising weather ahead. Look at that stupid great face! Wow! A blessing. God damn it. Yes,
Definitely
I'm just...
with this Diglett. Jesus.
Right? Isn't he great? That face is worth it. Just alone. Stuff. But yeah, so I'm just missing those last two, and they're very expensive, and I'm upset about it. Rightfully so, I think. Yeah, so I need to know whether or not they're going to re-release them so I can decide whether or not I want to spend the money to try and, like, purchase a full lot of them. Or if I'm willing to just, like... Because then what am I going to do with all those dupes? I guess resell them on eBay? Just like, hey, I bought these, and I would just like my money back for them, please.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that may be how it goes.
Yeah, I think that's how it's gonna go. I've ordered, like, literally almost all the other ones I've gotten from the same guy in Arizona, and I swear he, like, as soon as I purchase it, he just goes to the post office and sends it. Because it shows up at my house 2 days later, and it's great.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah, it's really great, and I appreciate it. I don't want to wait, because I'm impatient, but also...
I mean, the waiting usually makes things worse.
Like, this one wasn't supposed to show up until the 11th. I ordered it on Thursday, and it showed up yesterday.
Alright, fuck.
Good on him! But also, like, do I want to spend $389 to get all 12 of them just so I can get the two I'm missing?
I mean, honestly, sometimes it'd be like that, but, like...
Sometimes it'd be like that.
Man. Dog, I had to buy all of them?
Buy all of them just so I could get the last two so that I could resell the other ones.
I think that's the way to go.
Yeah.
You buy the set, and then you sell the ones you don't need.
Yeah, because, I mean, people are selling Rainy Day. Like, the cheapest I see him online that isn't, like, shipping from China is $98. And there are people who put him up, like, bid for this one. And, like, I was like, all right, I'll put my max bid in at $49. And immediately it was, like, $115. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, man.
Ridiculous. Whatever.
It's a lot.
It's a lot for 2 Funkos, and that was only one of them. Whatever. God damn it.
Oh man.
I do have some anime figures I want to sell anyway, so like, I'm sure I can make the money back, but
It's a hassle.
I got hardcore shamed this week for a thing I bought for myself.
Okay.
Why?
Well, I mean, I guess this is the part where I'll float it to you, my treasured friends and beloved co-hosts, and I guess our listeners.
Damn, fuck the listeners. I'm messing. It's cool. What'd you buy, Brian?
So, the king of this shit, the fucking god, the leader of the Murder Death Kill Gang, Nick Gage, and Alley Cat had a death match a few weeks ago.
Okay.
And I very much enjoyed it. It was a super great match.
Oh, is this the thing where you wanted, like, the blood-covered tarp or whatever?
What I wanted was the blood-covered Whataburger table flags.
Yes.
And it turned out that the blood-covered Whataburger table flags got thrown away.
Aww.
And the reason for that was that Alley Cat had to go straight to the hospital because her arm got opened up during the match.
True.
And so she was not there to gather up her Whataburger flags. But in a wrestling match, there is a thing where before the match, somebody writes up what you might call like a script for how the match is going to go. Like it kind of like loosely describes, and this happens, and then this happens, and this happens. It's usually called the match agent notes. And so I got in touch with the guy who runs the promotion, Brett Lauderdale, and told him that I wanted to get a hold of the match agent notes for the Gage versus Alley Cat match because I wanted to frame them. And I contacted Alley Cat and I purchased the gear she wore in the match. So I could frame the gear with the match agent notes.
No, for sure.
Okay, that's cool.
And I went to a place where I talk wrestling online. I'm like, hey guys, I got the match agent notes and Alley Cat's gear. And people are like, you're going to sniff the pants, aren't you?
I mean, that is something that would come up. It's less of an accusation and more of a jab, I think.
Yeah, and then somebody's like, look, you're not allowed to post things like that unless you say, friends, please let me have this thirst. And I'm like, no, I'm not here to sniff the pants. It was a great match. It was a really good match.
I'm sure they know that. I think. Oh man. I'm
like, I'm not. Look. If I was that guy, I would not have any compunction about saying that I'm that guy. So rest assured, everyone, I'm not that guy.
Well, I mean,
but
Brian,
if I was that guy, you'd fucking know.
You'd fucking know. I'd be like, that's right.
Look
at me go!
What are you gonna do about it?
I would post a photo of me sniffing the pants.
Yep, we're like, yep.
It'd go viral. I'd love it.
Yeah, here you go. What's up, pants? Say hi to your mother for me. Oh. I'm like, man, I'm not going to sniff the fucking pants. You know, and let Tegan sniff the Pikachu.
What? What?
Just saying. Let Tegan let Tegan sniff the Pikachu.
Shame me for wanting to spend $400 on an entire set of Pikachus so that I can get one Pikachu. Please do that. That's bullshit. But also, I'm probably going to do it anyway. Because I am a collector, and having a complete collection is important.
I feel it.
I can't help it.
So Tegan's going to get the whole set of Pikachus. She's going to probably grind up and snort one of them, you know.
I'm going to purchase exactly one full set of Pikachus so I can have one full set of Pikachus because when I'm collecting something, I collect one full set and that's it.
Tegan, I know how you can get those Pikachus for free.
Yeah?
Asterisks, except for emotional cost.
What, do I have to sell pictures of my feet? I'll do that. I'm willing to do that.
Buy Tegan's feet pics so that she can buy the Pikachu.
That is literally what I was going to say.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, I'm willing to do that.
Yeah.
If you want my feet pics. If you want my feet pics, subscribe to that $55 Patreon tier, and I will DM them to you same day.
Oh, no. Is that a real promise? Brian will update that. I swear to God he will.
Look, Tegan.
You have to specify the feet pic tier.
Yeah, it is the feet
specify
pic.
it.
What is it currently? I can't remember what 55 is. Is that Bonjour, actually?
Yeah, I think right now it's Bonjour. We'll add another $55 feet pic tier, and I will send you a photo of my feet.
It'll be Bonjour now with feet pics.
Oh, okay, guys.
Are you really updating it?
Well, first of all, I'm going to show you somebody else's Patreon.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Is it Delphine's? Okay, Sweet Feet family. Fuck. All right, let's go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is it for 18 or older?
It's explicit content.
It's feet. I
So
don't understand.
You don't know how lewd feet can get.
I don't. You're right. I don't know how lewd feet can get. It's just going to be a standard feet pic. It's not going to be anything funky. Mostly because I don't know what I'm doing.
This is some pretty good composition here, actually. This ASMR relaxing feet. All right.
I don't know what this is. This feels weird. That feels weird.
Does it though?
Yeah, it does. That feels weird.
Brian.
I guess I don't want to see, like, I'm not going to judge her for selling pics of her feet, because she obviously is working, like, very hard to make sure they're, like, nice pics. Like, she's getting her toes done and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this would not be that. This would be amateur hour.
Okay, so guys, I want to read you a thing from the Patreon rules, and we need to decide whether our new Patreon tier means I need to click this box.
I am
okay. Yeah,
Brian,
yeah.
I am kidding.
Go ahead, read the thing, man.
Okay. Does your work contain adult themes such as dangerous activity or nudity?
No.
Well, let me finish, Tegan.
Okay.
Adult content, and they put that in parentheses, means material that features nudity, dangerous activities, or anything not suitable for audiences 18 or, under 18 years old. Patreon is a place where all types of artists can express themselves freely. At the same time, we need to ensure that the browsing experience is sensitive to different age groups, cultures, and contexts. Help us keep Patreon a welcoming place for everyone, and tag your content appropriately.
Okay. Well, if I'm understanding Tegan, I don't think Tegan's really interested in making, like, lewd foot-based content, I guess.
This begs the question, and this is something where you can weigh in,
If I was
listeners.
willing to do it, if I was willing to do it in, like, cosplay or something, like, cosplay up my foot and make it all fancy, maybe. But I'm just talking about, like, I will prop my foot up on a table and take a picture.
You see, and that sounds like, look, if I was a foot guy,
Yeah.
that would be the foot pictures I want.
Really?
I mean, amateur stuff that's, like, candid and whatnot, like, is
Yeah.
actually pretty valuable in that space.
Yeah, we're just like, here's a fucking foot, get your business done.
Oh my god. This feels weird now.
Yeah, like...
We've made the space weird.
Like, I got me footpedia.biz bookmarked, and this picture is my business.
Not literally. He's still in character, Tegan.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? I was about to make some judgments. I'm sorry.
We've already talked about footpedia.
Yeah, and again, folks, we're not out here shaming the foot kink. We're not kink shaming. I want to stress that.
Yeah,
it's more the it's more than the fact that, like, at least for me, that you know how, like, the Silmarillion by J.R.R. Tolkien is just a bunch of exhausting, boring, like, background material, and you're like, Jesus fucking Christ, who is this for?
Mm-hmm.
That seems to be the way that the foot people talk to each other.
Like, they're just talking in just, like, the highest J.R.R. Tolkien speak possible.
Yeah. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, is there really that much to say about the arches of B.B. Newirth's feet? Like, just...
I mean, I'm not going to knock their craft, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, because, like, so many people out there who've got them other fetishes are just like, yeah, I like when she sits in pies, you know, like...
I know those dudes. Oh my god.
And you're like, okay, fine. You like when she sits in pies. That's fine. You know, you do you.
It is kind of weird. Like, you know, the cake sitting people or whatever, like, they just kind of say, I like it. And I'm like, that's cool, man. Like, foot people definitely, like, they are just, like, pulling out golden ratios and, like, fucking...
There is some fucking science to it, and it's that. It's that. Yeah. It's like, I'm not worried about your erection. That's fine. I'm worried about the way your brain works. That's a different thing.
Why the hell do you have protractors out right now? Like,
exactly.
What's going on?
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
Like, it's like, normally someone...
Okay, so here's the real question, I suppose. Like, lewds sell, right? Cosplay lewds sell more, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Would cosplay foot photos sell more?
There is a market
because
for
of
it.
like the sub market for
it.
I feel like there's like if targeted well, there is a niche that will sustain it. But like at large, like for example, like cosplay plus like lewd foot pics isn't going to take over the foot pic game. That's not really going to happen. But like cosplay lewd foot pics will definitely hit like a niche that will keep people coming back.
It's that part of the market, that same part of the market that really is into that anime about like the opaqueness of tights. You know what I'm talking about? You know that anime? You know exactly that anime.
Yes, I know those people.
I am currently looking at an Instagram account.
Okay.
Which is entirely dedicated to cosplay foot pics.
Mm-hmm.
And
sure.
How do you find this stuff so fast?
Look,
Brian,
he's got his ways. Look, he's got memes.
Your ability to find this stuff frightens me.
Tegan, if this was a White Wolf video game, I would have 5 dots of internet. Okay.
Oh my god.
You know,
Brian. So like, you don't. Here, you know, here's a fun treat that we can do. Instead of, you know, saying the @ for the Instagram account out loud, you can put it in the show doc. So people who are, you know, subscribing to the Patreon, they can see the @ and they can check out the account.
Oh, also, people who are subscribed to our Patreon, I'd love to get your specific feedback on something which I did differently this week. Historically, the show doc has been offered up as individual JPEGs. This week, what you guys got was a single PDF attached to the audio file. So please let me know which way you prefer. Yeah. See? It's a thing I sincerely want our listeners to give me feedback on.
Get after it. We can do Patreon polls, right? Like, that's the thing we can do.
It's true. All right. So, I guess technically, let's see here. We're going to go ahead and indent. There we are. So that way, people can get lost in the heady world of this shit.
For sure.
I'm already doing something I'm about to regret. I'm gonna open it up and take a look.
Okay. Brian, tell me about this show that Ubisoft made.
Yeah, so Ubisoft coughed up the money for a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
It is called Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet. And it is about a game development studio that is doing ongoing support for an MMO called Mythic Quest. And on the show, they've recently launched a expansion called Raven's Banquet.
Right.
And the show has a whole bunch of, like, people who are very good on the show, who are turning in excellent work as well. Danny Pudi is the terrible head of monetization for the team. Good seeing him playing a villain. F. Murray Abraham is on the show. Academy Award nominee F. Murray Abraham. He plays, like, the head writer for the game. C.W. Longbottom, a guy who comes from traditional media and is a novelist and, like, hadn't had a hit book in years. And so, like, when the head of the studio comes to him and is like, write for our game, he takes the job. And so there's, like, all these great scenes where he just, like, shows up to meetings with his Nebula Award.
Okay. All right, guy.
Yeah. In, like, one episode, like, he and some other characters are, like, hiding in a closet. And he, like, offers someone a bottle to drink from. And it's like, what is this? He's like, I call it a Rutger Hauer. It's fortified port wine, black coffee, and 3 tablespoons sugar. And I'm like, man, I think people know this guy. People have met this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rutger Hauer. Ashley Birch is on the show. She's fantastic. She plays a tester. But it is fun and well written and tight. One of the things that took me most by surprise on the show was, like, in the middle of the season, with, like, no warning whatsoever, they just, like, stopped covering all of the characters that we have been following throughout the season to instead, like, follow a game development studio that was, like, founded in, like, 1993 called Oubliette Studios. And the founders of Oubliette Studios are played by Kristen Milioti and Jake Johnson.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's, like, this, like, flashback to, like, the video game scene of, like, the late 90s and then early 2000s. And it's pretty cool. They definitely had my number when, like, the very first shot of that episode is someone slamming a cartridge into a Super Nintendo while Love Will Tear Us Apart by Joy Division is playing.
All right. That's a vibe.
And then, like, the whole episode is about, like, Jake Johnson and this, like, goth woman founding this, like, game studio and then falling apart, falling in love and then being torn apart by the needs of, like, the parent corporation. And I'm like, this thing has my number. And eventually, the show pays off why it took a break in the middle of the season to just tell us the story of these two characters. So, like, overall, very good. It tells a lot of jokes which are going to be funny to people who follow video game news and follow the industry. It's weird in that way, in that, like, I don't know how big the market is right now for people who follow video game news. Like, there's an episode where Kotaku runs an article about how the game has a guild in it, which is entirely Nazis. And they're like, Mythic Quest, the most popular MMO amongst white supremacists. And in the episode that chronicles, like, how the various departments and people react to there being actual Nazis playing the game. Danny Pudi's character, because he's a piece of shit, doesn't want to remove anyone from the game because he wants revenue from everyone.
Right.
So he figures that the best way to make that happen is to form a diverse ethics committee and then hold them up with procedure. He's like, let's form an ethics committee to decide what to do. And so they like make NCAA brackets for types of people that should be kicked off the game.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And he just tries to gum up the works and make it so that the ethics committee can't make a decision.
Right.
The decision of the creative director of the studio comes to is like, he's like, we should make stuff that lures the Nazis out into the open into exposing themselves as Nazis. And so they release like a cosmetic patch, which is like, yeah. He's like, this is clearly just the symbol for the SS, but the item description will read 2 black bolts of lightning. But, we'll know when people buy it. And then they, like, release a glitched emote for characters. They're like, we're going to put out an emote, and we're going to tell people, like, don't worry, we're about to remove this emote because it's glitched, so you shouldn't buy it. And it's just, like, Sig Heil. And so, like, there's, like, these shots of, like, little, like, computer dwarves and computer elves Sig Heiling. Meanwhile, this other character, who's, like, the head of engineering, is like all bummed out because she finally got to like create a feature for the game, which is like a tool which kind of like functions like adding Discord style functionality within the game. And she calls it Dinner Party. And like every time she says the name of the feature, she does this like big hand gesture. She's like, I just want to get back to Dinner Party. Dinner Party. And her idea is to organize an in-game peaceful protest against the Nazis. And so there's like 200 people standing around not doing anything because it's just an MMO. And so it's like 200 people in one place. They're like, yeah, no Nazis. But then the Nazis use Dinner Party to organize a raid on the people standing around.
Oh no.
And so they kill all the people standing around, then they stand around doing like the dwarf Sig Heiling thing. And the ultimate solution for the game is actually a thing which has happened in multiplayer games, which is that they created a jail server. So that way all of the trash people get sent to a single server where they can't communicate with any other users once they get tagged.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they like show this like great shot of like a server warehouse where like one stack is labeled Nazi jail. And it's fantastic, like, because once the Nazis are in a jail, they start to turn on each other. There's this like scene where you just see like 2 on-screen avatars like just yelling at each other like, you beta cock, like, you beta cock. And it's a good time. Like overall, it's a really good show. It's interesting because like there's stuff on the show where they need to show like video game things happening.
Sure.
And so they need resources to display a video game thing. And you can like look at it and go like, oh, that's obviously Assassin's Creed assets. Or like, oh, they're using For Honor for this. Like, yeah, where like people who know the Ubisoft catalog will recognize like the use of Ubisoft assets. And on the show, the studio that's making Mythic Quest keeps on talking about like their parent corporation and headquarters. It's all like, but the way they never refer to that company by name. They're just like, they're like, well, I guess I'm going to have to call Montreal. They're like, what's going to happen when Montreal hears about this? And I think that's okay because it kind of like it lets the show be about implied Ubisoft studio as opposed to being about explicitly Ubisoft studio, an Ubisoft studio.
I thought it was supposed to be like an implied like Blizzard studio. I thought it was just Blizzard that they were doing.
No, it's definitely a Ubisoft studio, which I guess like right what you know. But like I was also really surprised at like the stuff that they were not shying away from as topics. Like the season finale, the A plot of the season finale is about unionization. So I was like, okay, all right. This is an episode about unionization. Like, how's it going to go when you include that as a plot? Or like, oh, you're talking about crunch now. Okay. So it's a weird thing because, like, I don't know how many people there are going to be out there who want to watch a half-hour comedy about how video games are made. I mean, I guess it's very, very good, and, like, you don't have to, I guess, necessarily follow a lot of things prior to, like, watching a comedy about it. Like, I don't have extensive information about how to be a cop, but I watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And I guess the show does a good job of, like, introducing its world to viewers. I just don't know who it's going to appeal to. Like, I don't know who's going to, like, hear the premise of this show and go, like, yeah, I want to watch that. It's a good time. Rocky?
Yeah.
I see that you watched things that required a lot of emotional energy.
Yeah, I guess I could say that. A lot of big TV ended this past week. The Good Place, Scher's latest show about the afterlife, ended with their characters basically playing out the rest of their afterlives. It was all really great. The pivotal point in the penultimate episode was they had reached the good place, the, paradise, heaven, however you want to call it. And, like, everyone was basically addled by, like, their own hedonism. They can get whatever they want, and eventually that just, like, melts your brain because you don't have to use it for anything. They were wrestling with the idea that people that could always have whatever they wanted and they could just do that forever weren't living full and, like, interesting lives anymore. And so they had Janet, the omniscient, all-powerful, very helpful assistant in the afterlife, create a door that could end someone's existence in paradise. It wouldn't be painful, but whenever they chose, if they ran out of things to do, they could walk through the door and essentially be, like, dissipated into, like, energy and whatnot. And that would be the end of your existence. And that seemed to fix the Good Place. It's not that a bunch of people just signed up all at once, hey, like, cool, we're out. But it was just, like, the idea that they could leave made them more interested in living again. And so the Good Place itself became a lot more productive. And everyone was working and, like, doing things and enjoying themselves. Several Baramies later, which, I don't know, translates into hundreds, maybe millennia, eras, if you will. And they basically followed the end of each of the characters. The first to go was Jason, who is our affable, lovable idiot. He is living his best life in in like a shitty chicken joint that he loved in Jacksonville. Basically made it his apartment. He wakes up in the morning. He's kicking it with his dad, Donkey Doug, and he plays the perfect game of Madden with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then he realizes in his heart of hearts, there's nothing else he wants to do. He's done with existing, and he lets his friends know that I think I'm going to walk through the door. But he wants to, go out with a bang. He wants to DJ his last set. He puts together a dance number with his dance crew. Dance Revolution. Do I have that right, Bran?
Dance Resolution.
Resolution, excuse me.
Yeah.
And, he puts on a great show, and everyone's great to, like, see him so happy. He makes a necklace for Janet, his girlfriend, also the omniscient, all-powerful assistant in the afterlife. And he loses it just before he gives it to her. But he decides that he's going to go walk through the door anyways. Janet leaves, and that's the last that we hear of Jason. Next was Chidi, who is an ethical philosopher on Earth that wasn't able to do a lot with his life, but he has been, teaching like ethics and philosophy in the good place. He has been overseeing the transition to the new system where people essentially enter the afterlife and they go through a sort of simulation or test until they are a good enough person to enter the good place. And eventually gets to a point where it looks like he's losing focus, where he like misquotes a philosopher that's actually sitting in his class. He tells Eleanor that he's read all these incredibly difficult books, and now he's having a lot more fun reading trashy novels these days. I can't remember. I think he's holding up the Da Vinci Code.
Yep.
Yeah. And eventually he communicates to Eleanor that he is, or he's planning to communicate to Eleanor that he feels like he wants to walk through the door. And Eleanor knows that he's like finding the right time to say this to her, but he feels this way. And so she like goes out of her way to try to like create new and interesting adventures for them until Chidi tells her, and it's something he can't unsay. I want to go through the door. And Eleanor's not ready to let him go yet. She wants to, expend as much as eternity with, her soulmate as she can, and she talks him into agreeing to stay. So he does. And you can tell there's a part of Chidi that, like, is doing this for her. Like, he very much would, feels like that he has done everything that he is interested in doing in the afterlife. And eventually Eleanor comes to the realization that it's selfish to keep him here. And, they do their dinner party. Chidi puts together a Jeremy Bear Me Thirst calendar for her, which is just various like photos of Chidi and outfits that are meant to induce thirst.
They're also very Eleanor-specific thirst pictures. A thing which has previously been discussed on the show is Eleanor's horniness for mailmen.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, it appears to be like a full third of the calendar is like pictures of Chidi posing as a mailman. Also, each season, Eleanor has made a reference to watching wrestling. Like, when they arrived at the good place, like, she was excited because she saw the bedpan Stone Cold hit Vince in the head with.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and so, like, there's a bunch of pictures of there as, like, Chidi as a wrestler, but, like, it's wrong in this really cute way, because, like, he's dressed as, like, an amateur wrestler, like a college wrestler or something.
Yeah, he has, like, the leotard and whatnot.
Yeah, but he's, like, holding up the big belt, and you're like, yes, this is right, this is good.
Eventually what happens is that Chidi arrives at what is his last day. He has a sort of a small gathering with the characters in the show, Michael, Tahani, Eleanor, Janet. A couple other people show up. Honestly, Brent, I'm not sure, but I think I saw Vicky there. But I might be imagining that.
No, Vicky was not there. Chidi's gathering, it was just our core characters. There was, however, like a dinner party scene was before that, like, leading into like the Chidi going through the door stuff, which included the Arizona trash bags and Chidi's best friend.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in any event, like, and also like Chidi and like Eleanor are wearing matching shirts at like the gathering, which I thought was great. And when they're at like, what will ultimately be some of their last moments, Chidi talks about the way that he feels about like, walking into non-existence. And he gives this like excellent wave speech, which is like a reference to a philosopher whose name I'm spacing on. But the idea is that like, you think of existence as a wave, and the wave will rise and eventually it'll crash against the shore. And then the wave will cease to be, but the water that made it up will still be there. It's still a part of like the world. And the same way that Chidi will like cease to be Chidi, but he still be a part of the universe. And that's something you can take some solace in. And then Chidi goes to the door. Later on, Eleanor is contemplating what else she can do in the afterlife. And part of that was trying to keep Chidi interested. Later on, we closed the loop on a character that had a medium place, Mindy St. Clair, who was just, kicking it in her small remote townhouse. And, she had cocaine. She had Derek, who was also a assistant, although not as, how would you describe Derek, Bran?
Not as sophisticated.
Sophisticated is a good word. Yeah. Apparently he's had an evolution since they left. He claims to be one with the universe and everything that it is, which is, ominous, but no way to know if that's actually true. But Eleanor's able to convince Minnie St. Clair to go through the system of the tests and whatnot. And now that, because the medium place isn't exactly relevant, because anyone can get to the good place now, given the new system, with enough effort, presumably. And one of the things that was integral to convincing Mindy St. Clair to go through the system is that if the test was designed by someone that she trusted, which turned out to be our Tahani. Tahani spent most of her time in the good place learning how to do things. She mentioned a little bit leading up to the ending of the season that, she wanted to learn how to weld or carpentry and all that. And she did everything. She got they had a really great guest spot with Nick Offerman, who compliments one of the wooden chairs that Tahani makes, says, this is as good a chair as I've ever seen. I have nothing else to teach you. And I know some things in the world, but if Nick Offerman told me that he has nothing else to teach me about carpentry, that's a pretty big fucking deal. But I don't know. That could have, Nick Offerman didn't say it was Nick Offerman, but I know who he is. He's on screen. Brian, am I overthinking this particular moment?
I don't necessarily think so. But I think that it's definitely designed to showcase the idea of Tahani as student, which is good. It's also used as a benchmark to express just how long the time is that they have spent in the afterlife. That this is somebody who's learned how to do endless amounts of things perfectly because of how long she has had to herself. Mm-hmm. And that she's devoted that time to learning. It's one of the best expressions of a passage of time that they have in that final episode. Another really good expression of the passage of time is that the character of Jason Mendoza is said to have spent 1,000 years walking through a forest, and just thinking about the nature of the universe, because he was looking for a locket. And
Janet's necklace.
Yes, and so you're okay, so if you could spend 1,000 years walking through a forest, looking for a locket, then you can certainly devote an endless amount of time to becoming the best at everything. But the ultimate resolution of Tahani's story is, I think, which makes very much sense for her. She doesn't go through the door.
Right.
Because Tahani has always, pushed up against being told that she can't do things, or there's a class or group of people that she can't be part of.
Right.
And so she takes that upon herself as the ultimate challenge to become an architect of the afterlife. She's I want to design people's tests in order to get into paradise. And so she becomes the first human architect.
Yeah, and Michael gives her the bow tie that he was wearing in the pilot when Michael was making his first neighborhood, which I thought was really great. And Tahani's the one that ends up designing Mindy St. Clair's, or agrees to design Mindy St. Clair's test, so that Mindy St. Clair would agree to go through the system and presumably ultimately get into the good place.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and then, like, Janet, who's, like... Well, the fun thing is that Janet has always been a good place, Janet, even though, like, the premise was that she was stolen from, like, the cache of Janet to pretend to be a good place Janet when she's truly a bad place Janet. But, like, the whole show has kind of been, like, a homegoing for her, you know? Like, Janet is finally, like, where she belongs, like, in the place where she can do the most good. Like, she's finally in the good place. She has all the knowledge of the world and now of the afterlife, and she can bend it to the needs of, like, the people around her, which I think is really great. She found love in Jason, and she got to guide her friends, these people who are incredibly important to her, through, like, the afterlife. And later, Michael and, like, his ultimate destination. And one small thing that I want to say about Janet before I get into anything else is that, like, I really love that, like, the actress Darcy Carden had the necklace, the Janet x Jason necklace in, like, the after show interview. I thought that was really great that she just, like, had that. But Michael, the initial architect of, like, the first neighborhood, but also, the story at first, is hungry looking for the next big project. But the funny thing is that they've kind of done everything. Was a bad place architect, dreamed of being a good place architect, had a hand in literally recreating the whole good place. And he says that once he's made, like, the ultimate neighborhood, there's no real point in going back to, like, designing tests. Like, he doesn't want to do that. And eventually the good place system runs well enough on its own that, like, the council that they use to sustain it is no longer necessary. He ends up in a position where there's no more in the afterlife for him to do. And it's at one point he tries to go through the door, but the door's not made for, fire squids and whatnot. Like, they're made for humans. So it wouldn't work for him. So they find another resolution for him, is that they give Michael the chance to be a human, to be a person on Earth. This, like, one, sort of class of people that he's always been curious and, like, enamored with. He finally gets to be a part, and he's elated. And he gets to go down and be a person. He has his own little apartment. He has a dog. He has friends. And there's a lot of, like, visual things that they use to, like, symbolize or, like, pay homage to his experiences with the group of core characters. Like, he names his dog Jason. He has him wearing a bow tie with a teal bow tie, like, representing, the Jacksonville Jaguars. The name of his complex actually, like, I believe says roach in Latin. There's Fibonacci sequences everywhere. God damn it. He has, like, sketches of his, like, his first neighborhood in his, like, apartment during his, like, New Year's celebration. And it's just, like, it really brings the whole thing, like, full circle. And God, I love this show.
The big takeaway for me, and this is the part where I shame you, Rocky, for saying, like, gosh, are we just recapping it, or are we going to talk about what we think about it?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I don't think that I could say that before The Good Place, I spent a terrible lot of time dwelling on things like moral and ethical philosophy and the meaning of life.
Mm-hmm.
It was more just like, I'm tired and I need you to do the bills, or that cake sure tasted good, or ow. Like, the Good Place kind of begs the viewer to live a considered existence.
Right.
Which seems like a very urgent and timeless message to viewers. Like, telling people to, like, consider their existence is something which will be a relevant theme. You know, if there is 1,000 years from now, it'll be a relevant theme then, which is fucking wild to create something that timeless. And to wrap it in this, like, glorious, grand scale fantasy adventure that, like, feels like a philosopher's Wizard of Oz. Because the story of these characters over 4 years is this sprawling journey about them ultimately arriving at the good place. It just seems absolutely like something very precious, like very, very good. Like there are not many things as good as the good place. One of the things I did after watching the last episode was I finally succumbed and ordered a copy of T.M. Scanlan's What We Owe to Each Other. Mm-hmm. So that way I too can read a very dense, very complicated 430 page treatise on, like, transactional philosophy.
So one of the things that I like about the show, which I, suspected a long time ago, but is really framed a lot better, like, given, like, the finale, is that what we ended up with is a much more gentle, thoughtful imagining of Dante's Inferno, right? Like, if we take, like, Virgil and Dante, consider them, Michael and Eleanor, and, like, they added a cast of characters. Like, Chidi wasn't really an influence that was present in that story, but Tahani was, like, the idea that, like, this infinite, like, vanity, but she was, like, ultimately punished in, like, the story. And Jason was there were probably a handful of Jasons in Dante's Inferno, but, like, the idea is that they took these characters, instead of, like, ragging on, like, on what they've done and calling them, like, irredeemable, they chose to, like, think of what it would cost to redeem these characters and what they could do with their new lives. I like what they've done with Jason specifically, probably more than anyone else. Because the idea is that, like, Jason, like, a character, like, a person like Jason, if you met them on the street, like, you would consider them a trash person. And you would probably be right. And while Jason doesn't, like, outright save the world, he, is capable of, like, wisdom and, like, compassion and enterprise that was, like, peppered in throughout the show. And obviously this is an idealized version of this person given a near infinite amount of time. But the idea that, like, everyone has, like, a potential for good.
I think the show is inviting the viewers to notice the incredibly clever symmetry that exists, that when we meet the character of Jason Mendoza, he is disguised as a Buddhist monk. And by the time the show ends, he's basically a Buddhist monk. He's basically a Buddhist monk. Like, there's a line that he has in the series finale where somebody asks him when he knew he was ready to go through the door to non-existence. And he said, there was a feeling when it happened, I knew that the air inside my lungs was no different than the air outside my lungs. It's like, God damn. That just, like, it just sits with you,
Yeah.
I think that fits within that like larger charge that the show has to its audience, which is to live considered existence. Because, like, probably more than any other character, Jason was living an unconsidered existence. Yeah, a lot of what the show did was highlight and showcase, like, what existence was like for these characters once they became aware of, like, their impact on the world and the world around them. And it was things of various scale. What's it like when Jason understands, like, the interpersonal relationships of human beings and that they have value and resonance, then he stops calling his father Donkey Doug, and starts calling him Dad. Mm-hmm. You know, what does Tahani do when her parents finally have the ability to apologize to her? Like, you know, like, life is a perfect chair if you let it be. You know, like, it has nothing more to teach us, but you have to get to that point. Mm-hmm. Absolutely fascinating show, incredibly dense, and even beyond, like, all the moral and ethical philosophy stuff that the show has to offer, which is a shit ton.
Yeah.
It is a absolutely fantastic, like, high fantasy adventure, which is really well paced with wonderful performances. Like, there's not much in this world better than, like, the work that, like, Kristen Bell and Ted Danson put in on that show. It's just mind-blowing how good they are. 5 stars, would recommend.
True.
Yep.
Definitely 10 out of 10.
Yep.
Would watch again.
But you know what? Even though, like, it was saying goodbye to all those characters, and all those characters, and so many of those characters faded into non-existence, the show did not leave me feeling sad.
No, that's true. Like, I mean, I felt like everyone's arc was really complete, and everyone's endings were uplifting. Like, it's not that anything, I don't feel anyone in the show really was, like, cheapened by, like, any of the endings, or, like, they rushed anything. They definitely took their time and did what they wanted to do, and I appreciate it. Because I wish more shows would end like this, with this kind of, like, forethought and, like, care.
Speaking of another thing that ended with forethought and care.
Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, Bojacl Horseman ended. The final, I think, 6 episodes?
8.
8, okay. The final 8 episodes of Bojacl Horseman were released on Netflix this past weekend, and they are thick. Near the end of it, actually, God, there's a lot of plot points here, and it's like 8 episodes. I don't think I could do the same thing. But I guess what I want to talk about is, very broadly, there's a lot of, like, really intense, topics that the show interacts with, that are handled very maturely. Like, Mr. Peanut Butter is in a relationship that can't sustain itself. Hollyhock is, like, dealing with Bojacl's history and what she knows about him, and she doesn't want him to be a part of her life anymore, but he's trying to, like, wedge his way in. Diane is trying to, like, really lean into her life with her new boyfriend in a new city, and is deeply affected by her past and the ways that it hurt her. And, like, one thing, there's a moment where, like, Diane is, like, trying to write her memoir. She's already sold the idea that she's gonna make something of her trauma. She thinks of herself as someone who's damaged like the rest of us, and she's trying to find the good damage. And one of the things that's referenced in the episode, while she's, like, trying to adjust to her new life, and, like, her being on antidepressants, is that she thinks of herself like a kintsugi bowl. That, like, the Japanese art of taking, like, damaged ceramics and, like, filling in the cracks with, like, precious metallic lacquer resin to, like, accentuate that the damage is what makes this thing beautiful. There's a really great moment where she's, like, trying to write her book, and it's not like a lot of TV shows where, like, writing is just, like, this one-way street. Like, I'm just gonna put the words on the page, I'm gonna do it till it's done, and I turn it in and it's all happy. Like, she's just, like, bouncing in between, like, wildly disconnected memories, being neglected by her father, her chauvinist father, being bullied by a girl in school named Chrissy Keating, and, like, the adult relationships that shaped her life, like her marriage to Mr. Peanut Butter and her connection to Bojacl Horseman. And it's peppered in with all sorts of small thoughts, like, we gotta check if it's okay if I can use the real name, or she'll write something like, that's not real English, I'll fix this later, or, like, even, like, self-mocking the idea that she's writing her own book, like, making whiny Diane's tome of belly aching. And she's, like, bouncing through all of this, trying to find like the meaning in the things that hurt her. And like at some point, like she can't continue and she starts like daydreaming about like a young adult like detective novel, Ivy Tran, the food court detective. And you can tell like both like in the animation style and the way she talks about it, it's way more defined and like brighter, and she has a lot more fun writing this novel. But it's really important to her that she's able to like make something out of the traumatic things that happened to her. And she has a conversation with a character, Princess Carolyn, asking her like, why are you so focused on trying to get like your worst memories on paper? And Diane says like, if I don't, all the damage I got isn't good damage. It's just damage. Like, what was it for? And Carolyn, you know, being like a very experienced handler and producer, tells her that maybe you write the Ivy Tran book and you inspire little girls like you more than like, you know, your like memoir that like recounts all the terrible things that happened to you could ever. But like the resolution, which is like, you know, sad and like not explicit, but it's definitely present, is the idea that sometimes trauma doesn't have its own meaning. Like it's just, it's something that happened to you. And like the meaning can come from you living in it or living through it or whatnot. But sometimes the meaning isn't something for you to grasp. And that sucks. And it's this really like dark and painful thing that the show doesn't shy away from, that other shows will pretend isn't real. And I really appreciate them like going through it and doing the work with these characters. And ultimately like Diane like gets to a point where she realizes the things that have hurt her won't change or get better or benefit her by her being angry at them, which is also like a really tough thing to learn. Even like her last like conversation with Bojacl, she draws her line, tells him what she needs to hear, and basically firmly but gently suggests, I'm not going to be your handler anymore. I'm not going to be a person that solves your problems. And well, it sucks for Bojacl, and you know, he deserves it, because Bojacl, while he's an excellently drawn character, he is not a good person. And I really like the journey of Diane, especially where it's come from like the pilot to here, where they like were mashed together and she's always tried to like be this person that like helps and protects. Like she was basically like a manic pixie dream girl for Bojacl, and then she rejects it and builds a life of her own. And I'm really glad that she got there.
For me, like, I think one of the biggest takeaways about the show wasn't any one individual story, but it was that this show was about the tenure of the relationship between Bojacl and Diane. Because they meet in the first episode, and it's very strongly implied that the conversation on the rooftop in the finale is the last time these two characters will ever see each other.
Yeah.
And so we see all phases of the relationship between these two characters, and we see how these people changed each other, which I think is something that they want us to think about. Like, would Diane have continued along her path without, like, would Diane be just, I guess, sitting in an unhappy marriage with Mr. Peanut Butter, not really writing things she likes for like the website Girl Crush, if she had stayed with Peanut Butter and never been exposed to Horseman? There's a chance of it. Like,
yeah,
would Bojacl have continued like drinking himself into the ground without ever meeting Diane? There's a chance of it. But also the thing is that like these people are influences, but they're not the stone that started the wall. They're not the only thing that made these differences for these characters. They are, in as much as they are potential causes, they're also, most important thing is like witness and ally and aid. Like the relationship is the important part.
Yeah.
And one thing that, like, the show has done is, like, a recurring motif is that even though it's on Netflix, Bojacl Horseman only says fuck once a year. The show.
He really only says it once a year.
Yep. They generally reserve fuck for a scene which defines the end of a relationship or a relationship being, like, irrevocably changed. Fuck is used when they're, like, saying, like, Bojacl is getting burned out of someone's life in the way that he's used to. Mm. The first time that the show used fuck was when Bojacl went to Herb's house because Bojacl was feeling guilty about getting Herb fired from horsing around, and now Herb was dying of cancer, and Herb said to Bojacl, "Get the fuck out of my house." It was the only time that got said that season. So each year, they say fuck once.
No, I want to talk about Herb a bit more, especially in the context of this last season, because this big thing was that, like, and I feel like it happened in the 4th season, but it was revealed that, like, Bojacl attributes a lot of his, like, downward spiral into, like, alcoholism, into, like, you know, abuse, and, like, using his power in ways that hurt other people, to him not standing up for Herb when he was, like, outed as gay. And it's almost like an original sin for, like, Bojacl, at least from his perspective. In the last episodes, like, when he has that meeting with Angela to, like, have him cut out of the show, and they'll re-release it so that, and he's signing away his rights to, like, royalties. Also that, like, visual gag where it says, "I have skimmed the contents of this document and retained nothing, yet I am beholden to its content." And, like, God bless. But he signs it away, and then Angela tells him that she was bluffing when she gave Bojacl that big speech back in the 90s. That it's very likely that if Bojacl said, "I'm not doing the show without Herb," if he had, like, the loyalty and courage to stick up for his friend, then the network would have backed off. And I'm not going to say Bojacl's life would have been entirely different if that happened, or that he wouldn't have done the many terrible and unforgivable things that he's done over the course of the show. Mm-hmm. But I feel like her being a part of his life, especially with that bond that would likely have been forged in that, like, incident, would have changed a lot of things. And the fact that that broke him thoroughly, like, knocked him off the wagon. I know him reading Hollyhock's letter had him at that frat party, and he was holding that drink, and he looked like he wanted to drink it, but him just going fully off, and, like, that takes us into, you know, the view from halfway down, was monumental. Yep. And it really solidifies, like, the idea that, like, Bojacl always did have a choice. And, like, what it ultimately adds up to is that he can no longer believe the lie that he'd been telling himself, that, like, sometimes his hand was tied and he just had to do the terrible thing to protect himself, to, like, protect other people, because he doesn't do things to protect other people. Like, he does things because he thinks it will benefit him, or it'll make him happy, or it'll get him the right amount of attention.
Yeah. Man, this show definitely left me with feels. Watch it, people. Watch it in the good place.
Yeah. Some of the best TV has happened in a very long time.
Yeah. So, do we want to talk about the video games on our video game show?
Yeah, sure, man. I've been playing Legend of Runeterra. It's still in beta. For anyone who's interested, you do need a Riot account to play it. If you play League of Legends, you can use the same account. If you don't, then, like, you just download the Legend of Runeterra client. Like, you need the news client anyways. It's a card game, all the Hearthstone, has keystones and death rattles and all that. No, keywords and death rattles and all that stuff. Instead of, like, straight up classes, what they do is that, like, you have named champion cards that, like, have the ability to level up and have conditions under which they do so, like heroes. And they belong to certain regions in the League of Legends universe. And you can have, like, 2 regions per deck. Like, that's your limitation. The turn cycle's a little strange. Like, there's, like, a sort of, like, negative priority system. Like, you have to play, like, slower cards into faster cards over the course of a turn. And initially, like, you and your opponent, like, trade actions. So, like, you'll put down a spell, and then, like, your opponent can put down a spell or let your spell happen. Then you can put down a creature, and then your opponent can put down a creature or let something happen. And then one of you can choose to attack. And if they so choose to attack, the other can choose to block. And then afterwards, you can essentially play down, like, spells and, like, creatures freely. And until, like, both players decide that, like, they don't have anything else to play on this particular turn, where that means because they ran out of mana, which means they can no longer play cards that require mana, or they just have no more cards to play, or they have no more actions they want to take, they can pass. And when you both pass, then the turn ends. So, like, individual turns can get kind of lengthy, especially if there are a lot of cards and, like, you're managing your mana appropriately. There are a lot of keywords that are familiar to a lot of people, like, regenerate, which, like, allows you to, like, regenerate the amount of health that you get over the course of a turn, or things like Challenger, which works like Taunt in Hearthstone, where you can choose which opponent or which of your creatures a opponent's card can target. You can stun them, which, like, keeps them from, like, dealing damage. One is, like, Frostbite, which can reduce your opponent's attack power to, like, 0, effectively making it that they can't deal damage that turn. Things that give you, like, priority, like Quick Attack, which allow you to attack before your opponent, even if you're blocking, so that you can win trades you otherwise wouldn't win. Or, like, Tough, which, like, gives you a bit of resistance for an amount of damage. And, like, outside of that, it's standard card game flavor. Like, you have weekly tasks that you can complete to get more cards. The game runs you through a tutorial, and you get to get a handle on, like, some of the various champions that are in different, like, regions. And the game gives you a couple starter decks to mess with. And once you get through the prologue, then you can choose, like, a region to farm cards with your, like, weekly challenges or whatnot. The meta is still pretty aggro at the moment. There is a card, Elise, who's, like, a spider queen, essentially. And every time she attacks, she spawns, like, a 1/1 spider on the field. Nice. And she levels up once there are 3 live spiders at the beginning of her turn. When she levels up, she gets an increase. She goes from, like, 3/3 to 5/4, I believe. And all spider cards on the field gain 2 keywords, which are Overwhelm and Fearsome. And Fearsome makes it so that your spiders can only be blocked by a creature with 3 or more attack. So even though you're spitting them out every turn at, like, 1/1, they can only block you if they have 3 attack. And then Overwhelm, which is any damage over, like, a blocking amount that your opponent has, will deal damage directly to the Nexus or, like, your life points. So you could stack up a bunch of spiders at once, and they're playing cards in the Noxus deck that, like, buff, like, spiders specifically. So you could just end up with, like, 6, like, 5/4 spiders that can't be blocked by, like, cheap cards and will, like, hit over opponents directly to the Nexus and just blow them up. So it's a pretty tough deck. Like, the first deck to hit Master Rank was an Elise deck with Darius. And Darius has a special thing where, like, it's a big, heavy card, and it levels up when your opponent's Nexus is under 10 health. So you can just play it in late game, and if you've been bullying them the whole time, you can clean up with Darius. It's not hard at all. While it's still in beta, its first patch went out this past week, which was mostly bug fixes. They did miss one interaction between, like, a couple keywords, Overwhelm and Barrier, because Overwhelm will hit for damage that is over the amount that hit your opponent at your Nexus, but Barrier negates all damage that you get hit that turn. But if you hit an opponent with Barrier while you have Overwhelm, instead of dealing no damage to no one, it skips your target entirely and deals all that damage to the Nexus, which I'm assuming is just not how that keyword's supposed to work. But Riot said that they're going to patch every 2 weeks, at least through the beta. I'm not sure if that schedule will keep up once the game is live, but it looks cool. It's definitely a decent alternative to Hearthstone. I don't know if it's standout yet.
One of the things that killed Artifact was the game having too strong a relationship to Dota. that, like, people who played Artifact, who live and breathe Dota, were like, yeah, the game's rules are intuitive, and I get it.
Okay.
But people who only had, like, vague awarenesses of MOBAs or had never touched Dota, touched Artifact, and said, I don't understand any of the core logic of this game.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think not having touched League will impact players?
I don't think it will. Honestly, I think your ability to, like, play this game is more tied to if you already understand Hearthstone and or Magic the Gathering.
Okay. How easy is it to make a dumb, weird gimmick deck in this game?
Not sure yet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're still in beta. There are some dumb, weird gimmick decks out there. Like, one is the Teemo deck, which people who play League of Legends will, like, recognize. But Teemo is a little, like...
Teemo is already a dumb, weird gimmick.
Yeah. Teemo's gimmick, it has a keyword called elusive. It's a 1/1 card. It is a champion, but it's as elusive, it means it can only be blocked by other elusive creatures. And Teemo's gimmick is that every time Teemo lands an attack, for each point of damage, it will throw a mushroom on a random card in your deck. If you draw a card that has mushrooms on it, they will explode and deal damage for each mushroom that's on it. So, like, I've seen games where, like, Teemo is just hanging out, trying not to get hit, and their deck is designed to just throw as many mushrooms into your deck as possible. But it is random, so, like, they just hope at some point you'll pull a card that has a bunch of mushrooms on it. And I've seen games where, like, people are playing and, like, someone's about to win, they're about to land their next attack, but then they draw a card, there's 14 mushrooms on it, and then they fucking lose. And that's just it. There's
mushrooms. Hate that shit.
Yeah, no, they're legit terrible. Holy shit. There's an interesting set where, like, one of the newer characters, Senna, and Lucian are, like, heroes. And Senna gets a power boost if the other dies. Lucian is a champion card, so, like, they have an alternate level up condition, which is either if 4 characters on your team or Senna dies, then, like, the character levels up. And then you get the power boost, and then you get Rally, and it just makes it so that you can attack twice per turn. And that's against monsters, it's against, like, the Nexus, and, like, an unboosted Lucian can deal 10 damage per turn with Rally on 2 attacks with multiple targets. And so that damage, like, racks up really quickly later on. There's also a keyword that I find a bit interesting that I'm not sure how to apply yet, called ephemeral, which is, like, it'll usually apply to, like, minions that are summoned through, like, some sort of condition. For example, Zed has the ability to create shadow clones every time he attacks something. So when he hits something, he'll generate a shadow clone with his stats, and it'll exist for a turn. So, like, you basically get a minion that you can spawn by satisfying some condition and then throwing them at the enemy. And there's a couple of, like, creatures that can do that as well. And I've seen a couple of decks whose entire goal is to just summon, like, 8 shadow clones at once and then attack everything. And then, like, play defense until they can summon the shadow clones again. But that being said, I haven't delved that much into deck building yet. I've been messing around with, like, the built decks and, like, just gathering cards currently. But I don't know that much about deck building, so I'm a little reluctant to get started.
I don't know about deck building in general as, like, a gameplay concept or as it relates specifically to this game.
Both.
Well, the things I could show you. One of the things which has occupied my week is that, like, 2 weeks ago, Hearthstone launched its first, like, true single-player campaign expansion in a couple of years. Mm-hmm. They had mostly walked away from those, and it was showing in player engagement. Because the single-player expansions were traditionally things that, like, provided cards that everybody could earn just by beating the single-player campaigns. And when they were, like, took those away and were like, no, you just gotta get cards through packs, it meant that there wasn't stuff that you could guarantee could be in everybody's deck or everybody's collections. And so this, plus the last couple of, like, true, like, large expansions being good, has led to a real revitalization of the meta, which has led me to doing something which I haven't done in Hearthstone for a very, very long time, which is having multiple decks that I love playing so much that I will spend a fucking hour staring at my screen going, should I literally slot out one card and replace it with this one other card? Like, I spent a full 35 minutes talking with a guy at work who also plays Hearthstone about whether I should replace a 4/4 minion with Rush in my Druid deck with a swipe card. Whether I wanted the minion for the body or whether I wanted swipe for the immediate impact. I don't want to leave you guys in anticipation with an unresolved cliffhanger, but the minion came out and swipe went in, and it's been great. It's been great.
Shoutouts.
Yeah, like, deck building is so much fun because it is the game within the game outside the game. Managing the meta, the understanding the trends. Like, when you said that the game was still mostly aggro decks, that made me sad because it is representative of a twofold truth of online card games, which is it means that it has a large enough player base that there are people whose main occupation with the way they play the game is saying, how many games can I play quickly? And they're trying to, like, climb as hard as they can by playing a lot of fast games. That's good because it means that it represents player population. But it also means that in, like, card design that the designers have created a lot of tools for aggro players and that there's not enough ways to punish anti-aggro.
I'm not sure I could say that. Mostly because the decks that are aggro are usually the base decks. There are some cards that are slotted out, like especially like in the Elise deck. But for the most part, like, they seem really standard. And of the decks that are like pre-made, none of them are like slow control decks. They just aren't. But there are slow control cards around. And also this beta's like, 2 weeks old? I might be wrong, but the way I see it is that I think that control may be a bit more difficult to formulate because it's like counterplay as opposed to like aggro, which is I'm doing what I want.
The thing that always frustrates me the most in a card game is if ever I am playing a card game and the sensation I have is that I am essentially watching my opponent play solitaire while I yell at my monitor.
Sure.
That's no good. If you're not experiencing that, then they're at least heading in the right direction. Like, if you don't, have that feeling of, there's nothing I can do while this guy goes hard on me, then, like, they're doing okay. I'll be curious to see how it plays out. Like, I mean, right now, Hearthstone is in the best place it's been in multiple years. Like, I'm actively, like, doing things like whipping up my phone against people in public and, like, having a bit of Hearthstone here and there, like, socially. Like, it's been a while, so, like, since Hearthstone has been enough fun that, like, I will just play pickup games with people I know personally. It has been for a while, like, my filthy dark occupation that only exists at home. Like, well, I guess I'm home. I'll do my dailies. Time to do my dailies and hate this.
Well, I think it's like the Conan effect. You know what I mean? Like, Jay Leno started doing some of the best shows of his life once he realized Conan was going for his job in like 3 years. But I do want to before we move into the news, I do want to tell you about this one card that I know you'll absolutely hate. There is a card called Tryndamere. He's a warrior with he has the overwhelm keyword on him, and he's an 8/4 card. And this card, since he's a champion, has a level up condition. His level up condition is that he levels up when he dies. So he's an 8/4 card, 8 mana. Like, so he's a late game card. He's an 8 mana, 8/4 card. And then when he dies, he comes back and he's 9/9. And it's just like, it is a nightmare to deal with right now. Like, I mean, I'm building like a stun deck so I can keep him off the board even if he levels. But I'm working on it. It's a whole thing.
So that's, I guess it kind of functions like a death rattle in Hearthstone, that something happens to him or the board state when he dies.
Yeah. Level condition is his death rattle in this case. Yeah.
Does Runeterra have a like a silence mechanic where you can just like turn off a card's bells and whistles?
I believe there is one. I've seen it, but I don't remember what its keyword is actually called. But there are like spells that will just straight up like
okay. And that is usually also a good indicator in a competitive card game as to whether or not there is some particular thing which is out of control. If everybody is teching in that card or teching in those kinds of cards, then that means that there's something which is just bullshit. But if that's not happening, then it usually points to a balanced meta. Like, there's nothing wrong with, like, general use of, like, tech cards. Like, right now, like, I run a Black Knight in all of my real decks on Hearthstone because taunts are popular right now, and it's good to have a thing which can just kill a taunt. Silence is a different case, though, because it's, like, it's something which just says, like, it doesn't matter what your card is doing, and it's so intolerable, I have to turn it off. So, like, one silence is generally not, one silence card is not generally a bad thing in a deck, but when, like, people are, like, creating stuff like multiple slots for silence, then you start to, like, run into a problem. Because you're like, oh, wow, like, it's just more important for you to be able to say no to whatever I just did than to actually do anything yourself. But yeah, like, I will follow this and, see how it go. Do you know how many different platforms this game can be played on right now? Like, if somebody wanted to play this card game on a tablet, could they?
I don't think it's on tablet yet. There's going to be a mobile release in March, which should bring it to, like, tablets and app stores. So, like, I know it's going to be on Google Play. I'm pretty sure it's going to be on iOS and iPad. I think that's timed with, like, the Teamfight Tactics release as well, which is, like, their auto battler. But I know that, like, they're aiming for that in March. But presently, I think it's just in client on PC.
All right, man. We'll keep us surprised. We will look forward to the Runeterra report.
For sure. Right.
Do we want to talk about the news?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
Boy, Tegan, I sure am bored.
Oh, really, Brian?
Yes, I'm bored. But you know what? I think I may have found a solution for my boredom.
What's that solution, Brian?
Patreon.com/Impossible Coin Podcast.
Oh?
Yes. These guys, which are us, have a podcast where they talk about all manner of bullshit. Mostly video games, though. But what I was really wondering is, what would happen if someone let those motherfuckers off the chain? What would they do?
What would they do, Brian?
Well, they would talk about more stuff that they care about. They would talk about the Zelda timeline. They would talk about anime. They would talk about wrestling. They would watch movies and bullshit. And they would provide any kind of content that really spoke to them that didn't fit within the normal weekly format of their show. And you know what? It doesn't take much at all to get access to that content.
It doesn't. It sounds like a lot of content, though.
It does. But if you just throw a little bit of money into the endless, bottomless pit, which is at patreon.com/Impossible Coin Podcast, then the eldritch gods which live within that pit will see fit to give you some of that content.
Oh boy! How much money do I have to throw at it to get access to all that great content, Brian?
If you throw like $5 into the pit, you're gonna get it. You're gonna be good. And for not much more money beyond that, they'll sell themselves to you in just the most plain-spoken and thirsty way possible. You can even advertise on their show at low, low costs. It's fucking great.
That's crazy.
It is. Rocky, do you think it's weird that I'm talking about this show as if I was both a listener and a content producer?
No, that sounds incredibly normal, and I'm glad you're doing it.
Yeah, I also don't know why I'm pretending to read a script right now, but I am.
Oh, Brian, wait, hang on. I'm on the wrong page, hang on. But Brian, the script is very real.
Wait,
Oh, shit.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was on the wrong page. It says here, patreon.com/impossiblecoinpodcast.
Wow, that's an easy to remember name. I can't wait to go check it out.
Great.
Whoever took Impossible Coin, just straight up patreon.com/impossiblecoin, we're coming for you.
We're coming for you.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
I'm going to do the kind of shit to you that would get me kicked off Twitter.
Oh, so you're going to be anti-turf?
Well, that too.
Be anti-turf on Maine and you'll get kicked off Twitter.
Y'all hear about that Rockstar? You know that Rockstar Games?
Yeah, I know that Rockstar Games. We play those Rockstar games. The Red Deads and the, that other one? That, theft of cars?
Yeah, that's about it these days. You know, once upon a time there were more games under that umbrella, but that's about it. We have talked in the past about, like, when Rockstar got started, how there was, like, a holy trinity at the top of Rockstar Games, which was Leslie Benzies and the Hauser brothers. Well, first, the Hauser brothers froze out Leslie Benzies after he took a extended sabbatical, which turned out to be a forced sabbatical. But, here's some news from Rockstar. Dan Hauser, one of the Hauser brothers, vice president of creative, is leaving the company next month. This became public knowledge as a result of a SEC filing, and that something that also wasn't previously known is that Dan Hauser has been on sabbatical, just like Leslie Benzies was, since last spring. In the filing, Take-Two Interactive says, "We're extremely grateful for his contributions. Rockstar Games has built some of the most critically acclaimed and commercially successful game worlds, a global community of passionate fans, and an incredibly talented team which remains focused on current and future projects." So basically a statement which is a total nothing burger.
Yeah, there was a lot of nothing in there. That was a lot of, like, when you eat a lot of chips right before an actual meal.
Speaking of that actual meal, Tegan, let's feast on speculation here.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing. I love theories.
Was Dan Hauser forced out?
I hope so.
Yeah, I'd say yes.
Okay.
This seems like the pattern.
So does that mean that Hauser was forced out by his own brother?
Maybe they had a fight.
I don't think it was his own brother. Like, I mean, Schreier did that expose on, like, Rockstar and their, like, company culture. Like, it's likely, especially at his position, like, vice president of creative, that, like, maybe he's, like, the source of that stuff. Like, the actual source. And, like, shareholders force him out.
Well, if it was shareholders, we would know about that.
What if instead, the other Hauser brother is like, this isn't looking great for us. You quit and start another company, and then I'll join you when it's really going down. And then we'll have a place to land.
Grand Theft Auto is as successful as it has ever been.
Yeah, but who wants to make the same 2 games forever?
So it sounds like what you're talking about is not
That's boring.
Financial failure, but more creative malaise, and that ain't these guys. Like, they've been happy to, like... I mean, keep in mind that one of the reasons that they shit-canned Leslie Benzies was that he had a focus on multiplayer when they, the Hausers, were interested in the single-player campaign stuff. So, like, we know that they think that they're sated by the platform they have to design story content. Like, they think they're getting enough of that right now with Red Dead and GTA.
Gotcha.
So
maybe he just wanted to retire at 40 then.
I guess that's possible. I mean, shit.
Maybe he's gonna run for president.
Oh, man. I don't want Dan Hauser to run for fucking president.
I don't think that's possible.
It'll be Dan Hauser versus Pete Buttigieg.
Well, Hauser, as far as I know, was born in the UK, so that's out. So,
oh, maybe he's running for governor someplace.
So yeah, I guess the question is, who is behind the departure of Dan Hauser and why? I don't know. I do not know.
Yeah, something will come up closer to March.
Yep. Tegan, what's going on?
So, there was a guy. He's got a lot of names.
His name's Ryan.
His name's Ryan, but his last name is either Hernandez West or Rocks. That's a lie. His username is Ryan Rocks. He recently pleaded guilty to federal crimes related to a computer hacking scheme where he used a phishing technique to steal the credentials of a Nintendo employee and then gained access to and downloaded a bunch of confidential Nintendo files related to consoles and games. And he did that when he was a minor. And then he did it again when he was no longer a minor. And when he wasn't a minor anymore, he got video games and console info and developer tools and then leaked all this stuff on Twitter and Discord and was stupid and then had a bunch of child pornography on his computers also. And so he's going to jail. And for the Nintendo-related hacking, he's gonna be... His attorneys are recommending 3 years, but the judge could sentence him up to 5 years for computer fraud, and Hernandez has already agreed to pay $259,323 in restitutions to Nintendo. But, also with the child pornography charges, he will have to register as a sex offender, and he can also serve up to 20 years in prison. But, really, he hacked Nintendo.
Whoa, Tegan. I just want to make sure that the completely incendiary thing I think you just said, you actually said.
Well, here's the thing, is, we are a video game news podcast, so I'm focusing on the video game part of the news, not the actual shitty part of the news, because, we all know what sex offenders get. They'll get, maybe 6 months. Shut up.
Hold on. I wanna highlight 2 things about this dude. This guy, Ryan Hernandez, aka Ryan West, aka Ryan Rocks, boasted about his exploits in quote-unquote hacking Nintendo, which is what he really did, is he tricked one employee in a place that he dubbed Ryan's Online Hangout. And I don't understand that. How are you that confident? I want to have the confidence to rob someone and then brag about it in this place with my first name on the door. And then the child pornography, which was found in a raid of his, I think his parents' home, was found in a folder on his computer labeled bad stuff. That was the extent that he was willing to go to obfuscate actual child pornography. I hate how stupid this man is.
This is the naughty zone.
That's something I'd have to fight over. The naughty zone.
This is
Jesus
the naughty
Christ.
zone. It's where I keep the naughty pictures. Fucking dumbass. He deserves more than jail time. I mean, okay, he deserves jail time for the hacking Nintendo stuff. He deserves death for the child pornography.
I mean, I hope that prison populations, while they do have a lot of things to worry about, I hope one of the things that is still true about them is that they have no love for child pornographers and pedophiles, and I hope he gets his ass beat when he gets there. I really do.
Me too. Does that make you feel better, Brian?
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. So there is a bit of interesting news I just want to highlight. NVidia has been putting together a cloud gaming service. It's been beta for better part of a decade. It's been pretty busy. They had one false start, I think about 3 years ago, but now it's out. GeForce Now. For $5 a month, or on their free tier, you can stream games from your existing Epic Games, Battle.net, Uplay, and Steam libraries. It works on PC, it works on Mac. There's Android support. No iPhone or iPad yet, but they're working on Chromebook support. And the service, you still need pretty good internet. You need at least 15 megabits or better. 30 megabits for 1080p. And they suggest 50 megabits is for the best experience. There's no 4K or 1080p 120s yet. There's a lot of multiplayer games that are available. You can play Fortnite on it, you play Dota 2, Overwatch, PUBG, Destiny 2, Rainbow Six Siege. But there are some games that are really popular that are missing from the service. You can't stream Monster Hunter World, can't do Grand Theft Auto 5 or Red Dead Redemption 2. And the way it's set up is that if you go on the free tier, You can access your library an hour at a time, but you might have to sit on a wait list. They're expanding like access. I think they can now support about 600K users at once. If you're paying the $5 a month, for the Founders Plan, you get priority access, so you get to skip the lines, and you can play for about 6 hours at a time. And like the system will let you know, hey, you're running up on your time, so you don't end up in a weird spot just getting kicked off of it. And I think this might be an interesting competitor. At least it's currently Stadia. Maybe not Stadia when it's really fleshed out, but it's an interesting way to like interact with streaming technology because you can do it right now. It doesn't cost you any money, and you can use the games that you already know that you already have to play. You can kind of play them anywhere. And I'm interested in like where gaming streaming is going to go, and this is on my list to like check out.
One thing I saw people saying over and over again about it was like, this thing does what we wanted Stadia to do in the first place.
Oof.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And that GeForce might be receiving a post-Stadia anger burst of customers.
Sure.
Which is, like, I don't think I could have guessed a few years ago that this quickly we would have a significant segment of the market which is just hungry for the ability to stream their video games. Like, that's what they want to do.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting because stuff like Remote Play and like PlayStation Now has been around for a while, and they didn't have a lot of adopters.
Right. But now creating something has to be at such a scale that like the limited support that, like, say, was created for the Vita as a streaming device wouldn't like cut it anymore. It's like, oh, okay, it's more like, can you stream to a Mac? Can you stream to a PC? Can you stream to this phone? Can you stream to that phone? How, like, what kind of bit rate are you getting on the streamed video? How much latency? Like, it is not what it was 5 years ago. NVIDIA and GeForce are already providers to a group of customers that trust them a lot. People who buy NVIDIA graphics cards tend to buy more NVIDIA graphics cards. And
true.
NVIDIA has also done a really good job at, like, building and maintaining, like, a retail presence and stuff other than their graphics cards to keep them front of mind for folks, in those off years. Like, I was like, I'll get this like graphics card booster for a laptop or this mouse or whatever. Like they're a kind of like an ever-present sensation. I hadn't really considered them to have any kind of like viable way of entering this space because the players who are in this space are already so big and so well moneyed. I can't help but wonder if NVIDIA's ultimate goal is getting acquired by somebody else. Like, to start down the road of stream tech and then have a company be like, oh god, we need streaming. What happens if we buy NVIDIA? So I much like your Runeterra report, I will watch this closely. But streaming service and streaming related businesses are the subject of another news story for us this week. So Phil Spencer was giving an interview. And he said that he does not see Sony and Nintendo as competition.
Ooh.
He said he sees Google and Amazon as Microsoft's competition.
Google is not competition. Phil Spencer, please. Don't sell yourself short. Google is not your competition. They're not. They fell flat on their face.
I mean, I guess the difference is that Google has so much money that if they wanted to get up and dust themselves off and do a soft relaunch of Stadia, they could. They just have to want to.
Are they going to want to, though?
Nope.
I mean, they already hacked it up pretty good.
I think my understanding of Spencer's like quote is the reason he's considering Google and Amazon specifically is because of how much they're investing into cloud architecture. And they think that that's going to be the future of gaming. Cloud is what's going to reach like everyone. Like 2 billion people around the planet play games, which is a big install base. But like there's 7 billion people on the planet currently, maybe more, maybe less later. And if cloud can reach all of them because everyone has like a phone or like a computer that connects to the internet that they can conceivably play games on like through some streaming service, Phil Spencer wants in on that. And like Sony and Nintendo probably can't get there. They could, but what would happen is that they would spend a lot of their time catching up to where Microsoft is currently. I don't know. Like, the more I think about, like, Stadia's launch, I'm thinking of it more as, instead of, like, a failed launch, as more of, like, a really expensive beta test. Even in the face of all that's going on with Google right now, they have plenty of money and resources and connections to keep going. Like, the public and the people that, like, bought in are upset at Google, but publishers aren't jumping ship. Like, they're still able to distribute whatever they want because they have the data centers and they can put it on basically any device. I don't think I can count Google out. Like, if Google wants to, like, pitter around for, like, 5 years and they get their shit together in 2025, they can still swing harder than Sony and Nintendo in this space.
We're all gonna be dead by then, though.
First of all, I'm gonna live forever, Tegan.
World War III is gonna come for us before we can reach the point where, like, live forever technology exists.
That is probably true.
And I'm gonna spend that entire time wasting away in Animal Crossing.
Oh, man. And then our lives will really be Ready Player One. Imagine that shit.
No.
I mean, you saw that map. There's like 8 Ohios. It'll be fine. No one will be able to find me.
I love that they, like, labeled Nevada. Like, this one's definitely Ohio.
Yeah, that one's totally Ohio, except it's...
Oh, man.
Like I said, only 3 of those are right.
Oh, jeez. 3. Like, still, like, 3. Like, Tegan. There's only one Ohio.
There's 3 of them.
Oh, my God. There's, like, Ohio camouflage. Like, holy shit. Oh,
That's how it goes, man. I know. My bean has some news. My tiny bean boy, he would like to join us for the next news.
Oh, for sure.
Here he comes. He wants to let us know that, like, hey, what are you buying? What are you selling? You want to run an esports tournament out of a Walmart?
Out of a Walmart? Is that legal?
Yeah, Esports Arena is gonna be launching, like, a semi-professional gaming ecosystems in Walmarts. In Supercenters. Okay. In Walmart Supercenters. And these gaming ecosystems will be providing gaming contracts and sponsorships to 40 individual competitors. It's going to be, the whole thing is going to be called Esports Arena Series E, and it's going to be debuting in May, and qualifiers have already started. The qualifiers end March 27th. What? You want to run an esports tournament out of a Walmart? The inaugural session is going to be featuring Fortnite and Super Smash Brothers, so, like, they know exactly the games they're targeting and, like, the people they're targeting. Players who get into contracts with the Esports Arena will be representing a premier brand such as Cheez-It, G Fuel, Intel, Mountain Dew, Amp, Game Fuel, Nerf, Pop-Tarts. Sorry. Hang on. Pop-Tarts, Pringles, and Rice Krispie Treats. That's just my fucking diet right there. Like, that's it. I obviously need to get into Fortnite and go down to my local Walmart Supercenter to try and be an esports player.
I mean, I'll learn Pac-Man.
You'll learn Pac-Man? You'll do it?
Yeah, I'll do it. That sounds
Meta Knight. Be all the swords players. Get real good at Byleth.
Yeah, Byleth and Roy. That's all I'll play.
Yeah, that's it. Just Byleth and Roy really, like, piss everyone off. It'll be good times. Oh, no. Also, might I recommend you also pick up that Cuphead Sans tech for the Mii Fighter Blaster? Just to really piss people off.
Oh my god. Then I can be a diva in stores. Like, you don't even have the Sans like outfit? I can't work like this.
I can't believe. I'll be in my trailer smashing some Cheez-Its. You just pour them into a bowl and pour some Mountain Dew on top of it and just, like, I'll be in my trailer.
Oh god, that's Breakfast of Champions right there.
Right, exactly. Tiny bread squares, bowl of soda, it's fine.
Bowl of soda?
A bowl of soda
bowl
is fine.
Of fucking soda.
Yeah, it's a soda cereal, bro.
No. Fuck.
Would you prefer I call it a bowl of pop?
Oh.
Bowl of pop.
Oh, no, I'd prefer to fucking... Oh, God.
Yeah, and here's the thing, like, you too, get your own diva pose at that point, you know? Because
Yeah,
you're sponsored by Mountain Dew or Amp, I guess.
Oh, man. Imagine the... Actually, you know what? Overwatch needs a semi-pro league, because, Champions isn't doing that.
Right.
So, I hope if, this actually works out, they, Overwatch and, Siege gets, added to the roster and stuff.
Well, the good news is, weekly Series E matches are going to be streamed out of Esports Arena's production facility and hosted on Walmart.com/esportsarena.
Bowl of
Pop is the name of our esports team, just to really...
Walmart.com/bowl of soda?
No. Yeah, that's if you want to buy our merch. Our exclusive Impossible Coin merch. For our esports arena team called Bowl of Soda. It shows whichever liquid is currently sponsoring us, be it Mountain Dew or Game Fuel, because they're the same fucking company, just pouring into a bowl that either has Rice Krispies treats or Cheez-Its in it. It's great. We're also sponsored by the Diabetes Association of America.
Oh, man.
Damn it. Fuck.
Brian, we get $3 a year.
Brian hates my idea, but it's gonna make us real big bucks, and then I won't have to sell my feet pics.
Money's not everything, Tegan.
Brian said this is a line I'm not willing to cross.
Someone's gotta say no.
Brian, just feed the kids the bowls of soda, they're fine.
Fucking no. Bowl of soda. Jesus Christ.
Oh, this is
I mean,
so good.
I get that money isn't everything, but money will buy me all those sweet, sweet skins. And then I can dump it all in my Animal Crossing Pocket Camp also.
Oh, fuck.
Top tier. Top tier. This is a top tier idea, Brian.
Friends, if I'm not on this show next week, it's because I've backflipped off the fucking earth.
If Brian isn't on the show next week, we will be signing up for the esports arenas in fucking goddamn Walmart Supercenters.
Oh my god. Fucking Christ.
We'll be the only, inner cross-continental team.
BRB hanging myself in the Atari Hotel.
Brian, if you think these aren't going to be these are going to have their own channel in the Atari hotels, watch and wait, man. You could just...
If we win, we get to decorate our own suite in the Atari Hotel, Brian.
We'll have an Impossible Coin suite.
Yeah, that's where I stay when I come to Arizona for tournaments.
Fuck.
With my Mountain Dew and my bowl of cereal.
Okay, so speaking of esports, the annual World Fighting Game Tournament in Mandalay Bay, EVO, has announced the games that will be on its main stage. It's Dragon Ball FighterZ on PS4, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, a new edition, recently came out this year, also on PS4, Samurai Showdown on PS4, Soul Calibur 6, PS4, Street Fighter V Champion Edition, PS4, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Switch, Tekken 7, PS4, and Under Night In-Birth EXE Late CLR. That's all the main stage. One thing that stands out is that MK11, or Mortal Kombat 11, and Blaze Blue Cross Tag did not make the list this year. And there's going to be a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Invitational celebrating the 20th anniversary of the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Tournament of Champions. 7-time winner Justin Wong has already been invited as a previous winner. Same with IFC Yipes. And there will be last chance qualifiers. Those who are already invited, like Justin Wong, are unable to enter the last chance qualifiers because they can't be gatekeepers. So ideally, we'll get 5 more combatants to join this Tournament of Champions Invitational. And I got some questions.
Got some questions.
What's going on with NetherRealm? Did they not pay their dues this year? Why is Mortal Kombat 11 not here? I love Under Night. I think that game is crazy dope. But, like, I always assumed that, like, Mortal Kombat's fan base was just louder than them.
How did Samurai Showdown get up here? Wasn't that, like, didn't that do really badly last year also?
It had, like, its online netcode is, like, dead.
Yeah.
Also, like, fucking Infiltration won last year, so I'm not super happy to watch it again.
Samurai Showdown has a weird niche, which is kind of hard to replicate deliberately. It has become the fighting game for the olds.
Fair enough.
There's not much in the way of stuff in the FGC that seems to intentionally target players older than 30. And if you're looking to grow your convention and grow your scene, getting people to come back who feel like there wasn't a space for them anymore, that's a good thing. So Samurai Showdown is kind of like, hey, the olds, please come play fighting games again.
Okay. Hey, the olds, you actually have money.
Yes, keep an eye out for Brian, or Solace's Drift, as he's known, in your local Samurai Showdown tournaments.
Yep. The olds. I am the olds. Guys, there's so much gray in my beard, but it's an entirely different conversation.
Okay.
Brian, you can fix that with, like, a box of dye. You know that, right? Or, like, a trip to a salon.
Yeah, let them take care of you, man.
A trip to a salon. Relax, sir. Have this bowl of soda.
Hey, if your salon doesn't offer you a bowl of soda, what kind of salon is it really?
That's right. If your salon doesn't offer you a bowl of soda, the place is either named one of two things. This is a fucking trash place, or Supercuts.
Damn. I actually like the new Supercuts commercials with that one dude from House of Cards.
Wait, this is a guy from House of Cards, a Supercuts commercial?
Yeah, I think so. Like,
is it Kevin Spacey? Is he like, I hate expensive haircuts?
It's not Kevin Spacey. I know that guy's name. No, it's the guy who's like Kevin Spacey's handler. The one that's in love with that one girl who's like playing out that weird like.
Oh, you mean the one he killed? Rachel Brosnahan?
Yeah, he did kill Rachel, yeah.
Oh, God. Now I'm gonna do the fucking thing where my brain explodes.
But yeah, that guy, he's in the Supercuts commercials, and like he always like waxes poetic about wishing he still had hair so that he could go to Supercuts and they take care of him or whatever. I don't believe him, but like...
Wait, Michael Kelly?
Really? Is that his name?
That's the name of the actor.
Okay.
The character's Douglas Stamper.
Yeah, it's Michael Kelly then.
Wait, there's a whole series of fucking...
Yeah, there's like
Michael Kelly... I don't know. Back to NetherRealm. I think that NetherRealm and EVO is a... NetherRealm intermittently doesn't care about EVO.
That's true.
So for those of you who don't really pay attention to NetherRealm operates on what has traditionally been a 4-year cycle, which is heavy dev year, Mortal Kombat game release, heavy dev year, DC comic tie-in game release, and it just continues. You can like set your time to it, your watch to it. The Mortal Kombat games, like every 4 years, has been the pattern for a while. And it's like, okay, has it been 4 years since we've gotten an Injustice game? Okay, here comes Injustice again. Has it been 4 years since we got a Mortal Kombat game? Here comes Mortal Kombat again. So the whole like heavy dev year, and then a game every 2 years, and it being 2 series that alternate, is their pattern. So, like, this is a heavy dev year for them. And traditionally, when, like, NetherRealm is in, like, heavy dev as opposed to, like, release and marketing, they just fucking completely disengage from, like, tournament scenes. And don't provide support. And don't do the things with the FGC that would get people to put it on the main stage. They never really get punished for it, because whenever they need to have games being featured as part of their marketing, it happens. Like,
well, I do, and this is me, you know, being a bit like get off my lawn type of thing. But is that like a lot of the NetherRealm games are mostly held up by casuals, and because like whenever like the release is like fresh or whatever, a lot of fighting game heads, even people who like play a lot of Mortal Kombat, they'll like jump in, and then just like people like don't have any response to like basic concepts. Like they don't understand footsies. They don't know how to deal with zoners. and they just like lose their fucking minds for like 6 months at a time, and then people move on to like the next new fighting game, and then they go back to mashing buttons, and like that's fine, I guess. And like NetherRealm's cool with it, and it's definitely, you know, supports their paycheck, like keeps their kids fed or whatever, so that's fine. But that makes sense to me, that like they just like pull back and they show up when they need to, because like FGC likes Mortal Kombat. It's a really deep and interesting game, but like most of its player base doesn't push it that far, and like that's fine with them too, I guess.
So would you say it's fair to call CEO the silver medalist as far as like tournament importance?
I don't think I'd call it that. Like, I think it's less commercially successful, but that's not what it's for. Like, Evo is to like show the world, hey, we play video games, and like some people do it for a living, and this is the highest level of our competition. While like CEO is more like All-Star Weekend. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, people just get to showcase and they have a good time, they have fun. The silver medalist, like if I want to put in terms of importance, I'd probably say like Red Bull Kumite would be that one. But CEO is like definitely about like the community just like wilding out and doing goofy shit, like with the wrestling openings and stuff like that. Like, it's just more about like everyone cutting loose as opposed to being like a real buttoned up important tournament.
All right, because like looking at the lineup of CEO this year, you know, MK11 did make that lineup.
Right.
Yeah. Which is part of how I got caught by surprise by the MK11 announcement. But then again, I was like, oh yeah, NetherRealm doesn't have a new game this year, so they don't care.
Right.
You know, if CEO is running it, they're not doing it with any like additional support from NetherRealm.
Mm-hmm. They're just playing because they're playing. The people want to play it. Mm-hmm. CEO should be dope this year too, though.
Well, this is the year that so like first there was CEO, then they added CEO Taku,
right?
But this year they've added CEO Dreamland, which it's different? Question mark. The lineup for CEO Dreamland is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Oh, I'm seeing
Super Smash Bros. Brawl, Super Smash Bros.
That's a lot of Smash Brothers.
Yeah, they're trying to sequester themselves. They try to do it every couple of years. It's not going to work.
Rivals of Ether.
Yeah.
Brawlhalla. So that's 6 platform fighters.
Yeah.
Mario Party 2.
That's funny. Holy shit.
And Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
For sure. Like, they're not being supported by Nintendo, right? They're just doing it.
Yeah, they're just out there doing it, living their best lives.
Well, like, okay, so there's this thing about Smash players, like, in relation to the rest of the FGC, is that because they essentially developed in isolation, like, they weren't really a part of, like, the EVO scene or, like, the major FGC scene, mostly because they were run by different people, like, you know, teenagers in garages versus, like, you know, people in their early 20s, like, who've been playing Street Fighter forever, like guarded by people like Vaya and other old heads and shit. So like Smash players like organically developed their own like culture, which isn't a problem, but like what they end up doing is that they end up like creating their own territory and then like acting like they discovered everything organically on their own. Like, for example, footsies, the idea that, like, you're trying to use your offensive range to pressure your opponent into making mistakes or to punish them for unorthodox movement is called spacies in Smash Bros. And, like, footsies is obviously older as a concept, but, like, if you talk to someone who plays Smash, they will insist that it's, like, a totally different thing that has nothing to do with footsies, and you just don't understand. And it's stupid. They are so, like, caught up in their own space because they don't understand fighting game lingo, even though they really have a lot to learn from each other. Mm-hmm. And it's true that, like, traditional fighting game players definitely roast, like, Smash players for, like, you know, mostly being, like, snotty kids and shit. The fact that, like, Smash players, like, are trying to, like, sequester themselves from, like, the rest of the FGC is something that will ultimately be detrimental to them. I'm not saying they won't survive, because Melee did well enough on its own for about a decade before they actually got into EVO. But it's just like, it's real disappointing to me. And Smash can be a much bigger, more interesting thing if they learned from, like, the traditional FGC. Smash, like, has a lot of energy and a lot of youth and passion behind it that, like, the FGC could learn how to, like, harness or, like, develop in their own player bases. It's just both of them being stubborn and not talking to each other. And, like, it gets on my nerves. Like, I fucking hate it.
While thinking about the various different ways that the fractured FGC and cultures grown in isolation differ from each other, I am now currently taking bets as to whether or not there will be any reports of sexual assault from this year's EVO.
My, like, cautiously optimistic goal is that there will be exactly one. And it will be handled swiftly and publicly.
Tegan, what's the over-under? I mean, Rocky's picking 1. Are you going over or under?
I'm gonna say 1 reported,
Fair enough.
but more unreported.
I can't fight that bet. That's a better bet than mine.
I mean, just because, like, the majority of sexual assault cases don't get reported.
Yeah. On a lighter note, I hope that for CEO Dreamland, that they just, like, set up a shower at the entrance so that when you walk in, you just get, like, doused. Just, you know, as a public health concern.
That's wishful thinking.
It's like, here's your badge, lanyard, and bar of Irish Spring.
Yeah, and then you walk through the door, the water hits you, and, like, you can just sit there and be wet, or you can use the soap. It's up to you, bro.
They give you, like, there is a place where, like, they're like, please put your bags in this conveyor belt so that we can scan them for explosives and guns and stuff. And, like, while you are separated from your electronic devices, then we spray you.
Yeah.
We're not here to ruin anyone's good time.
That's true. All right, that's all I really want to talk about with Evo. It's gonna be lit, honestly, because MVC2 is, like, fucking amazing to watch whenever it's going. I have high hopes for Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. I hope Tekken 7 actually gets the last slot this year, because they deserve it. Champion Edition is pretty cool, and it is well balanced. There aren't really joke characters anymore. Everyone has their niche. And I hope some weird shit shows up. I hope we see a really good Falk, like, in top 8. I hope Nauman makes it through, like, the killers in, like, Evo. Because he won fucking Capcom Cup, and that's all killers. I hope he gets past at least, like, top 16. And yeah, I want more character diversity. I'm sick of seeing, like, fucking 3 Manats and, like, 2 Cuttins and a Cammy. Like, fuck off.
Well, then, do we want to talk about the garbage Steam dumped on our face today?
We do!
Yeah, let's do it, man.
All right.
Let's sift through the shit pile.
Fortunately, there's not much shit to sift today.
Okay.
Mm.
We have 4 games.
That's it?
Wow.
I think, is this a record low for us?
I think 4 is a record low. I think
Yeah, I think so.
previous was, like, 6, I think.
Yeah. First up is Patched World. Real men lay eggs. Eggs will become your companion. Win battle and get stronger egg.
I just want to make sure that I heard that right. The first sentence was real men lay eggs, right?
That is correct.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Eggs will become your companion, win battle, and get stronger egg. Physics-based melee system. Weapon damage is relative to velocity. Tip of pole arms have blade damage, while wood part of pole arms have impact damage.
Sure.
You can parry, but parrying with sword is not a good idea.
Good
Are
to
they
know.
sure? Parrying with sword is typically how parrying works.
Egg system, get eggs from enemy.
Get the eggs!
Make your companions from eggs.
Are
They will help you leading your army.
Is everyone
Stronger
a
enemy
fish?
give better eggs.
Please tell me everyone's a fish.
Everyone is not a fish. These are people.
Disgusting.
There you go.
Well, I suppose if men only needed eggs from other men, then they wouldn't need women anymore. That'd be fine.
Yeah, there we go. And Patched World is $3.99. Next up is Corvus. Corvus is a shooting gallery in an open world.
Nope.
The game has many different enemies that will need to be shot. 5 types of guns: pistol, shotgun, automatic rifle, sniper rifle, rocket launcher.
I am so bored with shooting games.
Each weapon has its own characteristics.
No way.
Damage, reload speed, number of cartridges in the clip.
That's like how real guns work.
This is entirely just an asset flip from the Unity store.
Rip.
Yep. It is $1.19.
Sure.
Next up is Shooting Star.
Are you shooting stars with guns? Is that how this one works?
Test your SLRs. In Shooting Star, you have to go as fast as possible, but beware, a great agility will be required.
All right.
Shooting Star is 59 cents. And could run on a potato.
Cool.
And last up is Jump to Die 2 Bloody Soul.
What? No. I don't want that.
Description: watch them die.
Is that it? Was that the whole thing?
There you go. About this game.
Uh-huh.
Yes, you are only a human being, but no, you are not mortal. As a Dark Lord and the future master of the universe, you signed a contract with a super strong demon of the void. Because of your great mental strength, the demon failed to obtain your figure.
Bullshit.
So now you've got his power, and you begin your path to your destiny. But your enemy is not only the Saint Lord, the King of the Holy Land, but also yourself. The demon in you has not given up on your figure. What the fuck is this game? Why is this game free to play? Build your building, it expands automatically, so don't worry, just build up. Summon demons and control them, they work for you, they fight for you. Invade Holy Land, kill all Saint Warriors, destroy the Saint Lord Reborn. Level up your room in magic. Travel through time and space, be stronger. Cross the void, be much stronger.
Oh man, this is real. What's happening here, Brian?
They have an explanation for why it's not... Jump to Die 2 Bloody Soul is almost completely different from Jump to Die. It's still an idle game, but we don't care about cash anymore. What? We're not charging money for this because we don't care?
What?
Guys, I want to thank you very much for hanging out for the last edition of what came out on Steam today. Because there's no possible way we're going to top. We don't charge for this because we don't care about money. Like, fuck it. Fuck me.
That's legit.
This is good. Yep.
I
okay.
love this.
What are the
How do you
requirements
retire
for
the-
that game?
Yeah.
How do you retire the... again, nothing suspicious.
Jesus.
How do you retire the jersey of a segment?
We need a new segment is what we need.
Yeah, you got to replace it, man.
Fuck. All right. Well, we don't care about cash anymore.
That's the best, dude. We don't charge money for this because we don't care. Dog is much different. It's different from the first game. We made a whole other game, and we're not charging because we don't need it.
Oh my god. Fuck. Okay, alright, well, thanks for listening to this episode. We don't care about cash anymore. Jesus.
Right, we started, man, we've come full circle because we started with asking people to buy feet pics, and then we've come down to fuck it, money has no inherent value anymore.
Basically, here on Impossible Coin, get our feet pics for free because we don't care about cash anymore.
Oh, this is amazing. I love this so much. So everyone, this is our show. We do it every week. It's called
Fuck yeah, we do.
We do it every week. It's called Impossible Coin. You can find it wherever podcasts are found. iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or Spotify. We'd really appreciate it if you left us a review. If you leave us a review, you will get Brian's feet pics. And we'd really appreciate it if you did leave your review on iTunes. There's music in the beginning and end of this podcast. It's produced by our friend Big Sach. You can find his work at soundcloud.com/BigSachNJ. Our logo and t-shirt were designed by Lauren Moran. You can find her on Twitter at Lauren Moran. And consider donating to her Patreon, after you take a look at ours, because, she's doing good work. And, unlike us, she cares about money. We are on social media. It's usually all Impossible Coin. Brian's usually on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. Tegan's on Tumblr. On Impossible Coin. Brian's also on Patreon, but that's Impossible Coin Podcast. Once again, whoever took patreon.com/Impossible Coin and not using it, we will find you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's us. I think that's the show.
It is true. Have a good weekend. Via con Dios. Go with God. Make sure to get the green chili on your enchilada.
Don't forget that Valentine's Day is Friday. It is Wednesday. Don't forget that Valentine's Day is Friday. Don't fuck that up. Don't fuck that up. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. Take your significant other to see the Sonic movie.
True.
That's what we're doing.
I asked my girl. She didn't want to go see the Sonic movie.
I don't know if your girlfriend is cool anymore.
Yeah, I know. It's okay. We'll figure it out, Tegan. We'll get there.
All right. But yeah, don't forget. Friday.
Yeah.
It is Wednesday. Yeah. You have 2 days.
You have 2 days.
Get your shit together.
Don't worry about flowers. It's a pipe dream at this point. You are fucked if you're thinking about flowers.
The best you are probably going to be able to do if it is Wednesday and you have not planned is order them a pizza and finger blast their butthole.
Or alternate, book something far out and be like, I've planned for us a romantic vacation. And then do something like that instead.
Oh,
those
the swerve where you're telling them about the travel plans for like 6 months from now. Like, I got us a hot air balloon ride to Paris.
Yeah, exactly. Here are the tickets and the proof that this thing has already been planned, but I'm giving you enough time to not only save some money for it, but also request off of work because I'm considerate like that.
So there you go, folks. Tell us on Twitter which is the way to go on Valentine's Day. Paris by hot air balloon 6 months from now, or finger blasting their butthole today.
I am right. I'm right. That's disgusting, Brian.
Peace.
Bye.